Hey, everybody, and welcome to another night of Women's World of Fishing Monday Night Takeover. We're going to give a couple minutes for all the feeds to get out. And I know we're just a couple of minutes late, but we had a lot of ladies to try to get onto this show. And I think we've got everybody now, but phew, I'm glad that we're on as soon as we are, Angie.
Yeah, it's
But
gonna be a
welcome,
fun night.
everybody. It is definitely going to be a fun night. I am super excited for the lineup that we have tonight because we have got a lot of professional lady anglers here tonight, and everybody but me is getting back from one of the best shows that bass fishing has to offer throughout the entire year. Everybody's getting back from ICAST 2021 in Orlando. Angie, first thoughts, last thoughts from the show.
I love ICAST. It's more than just bass fishing, but a lot of bass fishing stuff involved for sure. I just love getting to see everybody. Year before last was my first ever ICAST, so that was my first experience. Of course, we didn't have it last year due to COVID, so I was really bummed about that, but excited this year to get back together with everybody. It was cool. My week went super smoothly, and I was just very fortunate. I happened to be, it seemed like I was always in the right spot at the right time to meet the people that I was wanting to meet and say hi to. So it worked out really well. I got probably 8 or 9 podcast episodes recorded this past week. So I've got a lot of content
Wow.
now ready to go that I'm excited about. Got to do some fishing while I was down there. I did not fish the ICAST Cup, so I'm excited to talk to these ladies that did get to fish it about that experience.
Mm-hmm.
I did do some kayak fishing for some bass that morning. And then I also got to fish the Disney chain of lakes, which was an absolute blast while I was down there on Thursday morning. So got to mix in some fishing as well as, just the doing the conference stuff. And it was just a great week.
I will not miss it next year. I
All
just
right.
I don't care what happens. I will not fish. I will not miss it next year. Um because I was so jealous of everybody. Just it just looks so fun, and I don't know how you could possibly be somebody to go down there and see everything that was offered between the shows, the booths, the activities. It was just amazing. But I am so anxious to get the ladies on here that participated in some of those events because there was something that was new this year with the iCup, with the ICAST Cup. There was a now if correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a competition within the competition just for the female anglers, the way that I understood it. Is that correct?
Yeah,
So,
that's my understanding too.
yeah, so a lot of our female bass angling friends were down there and they were kind of like in a shootout and stuff. And so I'm really I'm excited to talk to Beth and Lori because they were actually in line to uh to weigh in for that tournament. And I want to talk to them about that because I think I caught them a little off guard. But I'll talk to them about that. So we'll talk to them. I'm going to bring them all on at one time, and introduce them. Some of them you may know, you might not, but we'll introduce them and just kind of get started and see what happens. It's gonna be a riot tonight, I'm sure. So, okay, ladies, Beth, Lori, Nikki Jo, Pam, everybody good? This is where you go live, so don't show anything you don't want seen. Okay, here we go.
Like the cat.
Okay, there we
All
go.
right.
Okay, so
Oh, they
in
want first.
the top right-hand corner, at least on my screen, we have two chicks in a boat. We have Beth Mills on the left. We have Lori Povisil on the right. And then the bottom left-hand screen, we have Pam Horne. And then on the bottom right-hand screen, we have Nikki Jo. So hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I know you guys are exhausted. So I really appreciate the time that you're taking out to be here. So Angie, I'll let you start it off because you know what was important down there.
Yeah, I didn't get to make it out that morning for the tournament. Like I mentioned earlier, we went and did some kayak fishing since we weren't able to get it together to actually fish that tournament. But I know you ladies got to fish it, so I'm excited just to hear your perspective of the morning, what the tournament was like. Did you get to practice? And what your goals were for the tournament, just to start us off. So let's just start with Beth and Lori, and then we'll work our way down to Pam and Nikki Jo.
Go for it.
So we were, how it all initially started for us is we got a call from a buddy of ours that said, "Hey, girls, you should try this ICAST cup." And we were like, we were talking about vacations, and we were like, I don't know if we want to do it anymore.
We were driving home from a funeral from Pennsylvania.
And
we were like sick of driving.
Yeah, and we said, I think we're good. I don't think we need to travel. And a buddy called and said, you should get in this. And we said, okay, I think we should do it.
Yeah. So,
but our plan when we got down there, we were able to practice 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And so
had a couple issues in those 2 or 3 days.
you want to share some?
Yeah, so we drove 15 hours. Actually, it might have ended up being 17 because we had to switch hotels at 9 o'clock at night. And that was tough. So I would say to anyone who's planning on going next year, make sure that you find a hotel that completely understands that you need to charge your boat at night and that it's in an area of town that it has some bright lights and some security. I would just say that starting off. But next day, so we drove down Thursday night, hit the water at about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. We met a friend through a friend who was so kind to drive up and meet us to show us the lake, because the lake is all grass and lily pads, and we know nothing about grass and lily pads. Like, we didn't know anything about the lake, and you can Google it, you can, Google Earth and find out all the stuff. But when you're in the water and all you see is grass and lily pads, it's easy to get lost. So the very second cast, we went to our first spot and I had a bite, and then the second cast, I buried a hook into my finger and ended up, we tried to do the pop it out trick, and I just didn't have, there was no way to hold the end down to pop it out. Even Beth tried, and I tried to yank it. I didn't have the position, and it just made me go in further. So I ended up in the ER. I will say those areas, Kissimmee has wonderful ER service. I think it was called Orion Health Center. They were wonderful. Nerve blocked me, got the hook out, and went back out fishing until about noon that day. So we only had a couple hours in. Then the next day, we thought we had motor issues.
Yeah, we went out, we were starting to practice, and then our engine had a warning signal, and then smoke started coming out of the back of it. So we had to turn off the engine for about 4 hours.
Yeah.
And we figured out what the issue was and could get it running. But when we were trolling without a big engine, we developed a little bit of a plan, a little bit of a pattern for us.
If we didn't have our motor during the tournament.
Yeah, so we had a backup plan going, which was great for us. And then later on, you always need snacks or lunch. So we got lunch and then came back out on the water, and the engine was running where we needed to. Yeah. And so then we could take off down the lake, which was great for us. And then once we did that, we were able to get another pattern going. So that worked out well for us. And then we were able to go out the next day and have like a full day of practice with everything running smoothly that day.
Yeah. So we got all the bugs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was an awesome opportunity for us to be there. Really stretched us as anglers. We're not used to that kind of grass. It was fun. It was a great time.
But it brings the opportunity for the ICAST stuff and the women to be able to be on the USA fishing team sparks this fire inside of you that for me, I didn't know. I knew I had a spark and a love for fishing, but that spark of fire is so lit right now that we can't wait to get back for the tournament next year. So,
well, and you ladies, you guys were like at the very front of the line getting ready to weigh in with that whole TikTok thing when that guy came up to you.
Well,
And
that's what it looked like, but in reality, we were mid to the end of the pack.
yeah.
So
well,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
To me, it looked like you were at the front of the line,
No,
but you were just getting ready to weigh in.
we had
and
just gotten to the tanks.
Yeah, and I don't want to say this on live show, but like I'm very brand new to TikTok. So I had just happened to sign on and I was like, I know that guy, he's on live. I'll just happen to see what he's doing. And he was like at the weigh-in and he was right behind you. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I couldn't see the name on your jersey. But I was just like, that's totally. And like, I barely heard Beth laugh. And I'm like, I know that laugh. And so I was like, to send him a message. And I was just like, is that Beth Mills and Lori Povisil? And he was just like, I don't know. And I was like, go look at their jerseys. And so but the girls were right in front of you that ended up winning it. So he was just like, and followed them around the back. But then he came back up to you guys and he had said that. But it was so funny. And it shows the power of social media, because here I am, all the way in Kentucky. And I don't even know this guy. That was the first, I didn't even say hello to him. I was just like, hey, is that Beth and Lori? But it was really exciting to see my friends down there being in this huge event. And, it was really exciting to see you guys up there on stage and, with fish and stuff.
And that's one thing too with social media that, the guy that we got connected with through someone that we know on Facebook, where I just simply said, hey, we're going to go down to this lake. Do you know anything about her? Do you know anybody that can help us out? And we ended up with 3 contacts of people in around that area. And then we had our friends who moved from Lancaster down there. But I just want to echo what Beth said, the opportunity to I grew up watching the Olympics and it was just like, I'm going to make the Olympic basketball team one day. I don't even know if they had a basketball team. That's how old I am. But then it was like just the ability to know that you were getting ready and that you had that opportunity to fish in the Pan Am Games for USA was just a surreal feeling and unbelievable. And I just hope that it was so great to see all the ladies teams there because there were a lot of women's teams who were not fishing to fish for the USA. They were just fishing the tournament as a team with a guide or whatever. It was powerful. It was great to see all the women's teams there.
Good deal. Well, and what we'll do, because Nikki Jo, didn't you say that you had to go to work tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. So Pam, well, I'm going to go ahead and go to Nikki Jo before I jump over to you because I know that she's got to get to work. So I definitely don't want to have to skip over her. So Nikki Jo, I know that you were fishing with Sherry Jacks.
Yes.
And for those of you that don't know, Sherry Jacks, we had on the show several months ago. She was going to be here tonight. She might pop in. Super sweet girl, great fisherman. She fishes as a co-angler right now, probably not for long. But she won in Texas as a co-angler. So she is amazing. So Nikki Jo, how was your week preparing for the cup?
Man, we didn't get a week. We got a call, or I got a call from All In Tackle, Randy and Patty Hillier, and they're like super nice people. I'll start off with that for even like asking us to go down there. But for those of y'all who don't know, we both, Sherry and I, live in Clanton, Alabama, which, like you guys said, Beth and Lori, we don't have hydrilla here
Oh.
at all. So neither one of us had ever fished in South Florida, but I was like, you know what? We'll just go anyways. That's fine. So I went down. I got there and practiced a total of like maybe 7 hours on Monday, and Sherry got there the last hour Monday. So that was it. That was all the practice we had. And I found out real fast that I hate hydrilla a lot, and you can't just get off pad. You have to find your own spots to get off pad. But it ended up storming that day really bad while I was on the water, and I got on a great offshore pattern. Like all the fish had pushed out. I had Clayton's boat I was using. He's got an active target. And I was like, oh man, I can actually use this. This is great. So obviously the tournament day came around. It was like blazing hot, no wind. all the fish dispersed back to where they come from. So we started out. I don't know if you guys noticed, like, so when you launch out of Toho, Big Toho Marina, right when you come out, there's grass patches on the right, a creek. And if I thought to myself, I was like, man, if I can just get a topwater bite in the first hour, that'll give me at least something to weigh. So I jumped on that pattern right there, and I looked over, and I was like fangirling because Keith Carson, I've kept up with him for so long, him and John Cox both. I looked over, and freaking Keith Carson is fishing like 100 yards from me doing the same thing, and I was like, I have a good pattern because he knows this lake, you know. So I got two of our fish right there, and Sherry, her strong suit is like deeper stuff. Like she can Texas rig or whatever, like really, really well, like deeper, like dragon worms and baits. And if you ever get a spoon in her hand, she's like a monster. So I was like, all right, we're gonna fish this topwater, and then we're gonna scoot out here because that'll give us a better benefit of the doubt. So I ran offshore and found the schools that I had found the day before, but I got close enough to the bank where we could like see where they had moved to, because obviously, like I said, the offshore bite was gone. And Sherry ended up smacking one of those big fish like immediately as soon as we got there. I was like, praise God. Sherry to work, man. She was so good. Like she said, she needs to swap from Co and fish as a boater like now. She is excellent. But
I think big fish they just flock to her. They're like, "Where's Sherry?
I know.
Okay, there she is. Let's just jump in the boat because."
And it's not like fishing with like somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Like she is just like fishing with a pro. Like she's very, very serious. And both of us might have gotten like way hyped when we got into those big fish. And I mean, like way hyped. I mean, like a couple of people stopped and they were like looking at us from across the lake, like, what is wrong with these girls?
What was your biggest fish?
Sherry caught it was almost 5.
Wow.
I think like 4 or something. It was
That's
good.
awesome.
But she was like, and at first, like, you know, all that hydrilla is everywhere, so we thought the fish had like all the hydrilla matted up on it maybe, and that's why it was so heavy. And she was like, I can't tell if he's big or not because it's like all this freaking weeds. And then his mouth came up, you know, like their gills all come out. We were both like, oh my God, like so I looked down the bank and there's Keith Carson again, and he's like on this, like not following us by any means. Like we were fishing the same pattern, but I was like,
he was following you.
We might be on to something again. So, anyways, we got 5 fish for 5 bites. The bite had not turned off. The bite that I had, the pattern I had turned off from the day before. And Florida's so finicky, man. Like the weather changes, condition changes, anything. They disperse, they get scattered. Like it takes them a little while to kind of get back in the rhythm. But we ended up getting 5 for 5, and it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. But like I said, we only got like 7 hours of practice. She only got 1, so it was rough.
We didn't fish on Monday when it stormed. So the pattern that we had was the same pattern we used in the tournament. We just couldn't. We had big ones in practice. We just couldn't get them right in the tournament.
And man, like I said, in practice, I was offshore and I was finding really organized schools. I marked, like legit marked like 20 schools. And And every school I would catch one fish out of it, and if it was over 3, I'd save it. And I had several that were like solid schools, but like I said, the weather changed. They had dispersed and broke up. I was so mad. I was like, please, I hope it just monsooned the day of. But it was funny, like the day of practice, because I saw that it was like a wall of storm coming. You can like see it coming, you know. And I saw everybody heading back to the ramp. I was like, man, screw that. I only got 7 hours. It's either stay out here and deal with it, or just whatever. If that's how I die, that's how I go. It's worse than this. I'm fine. I don't even care. So I rode the storm out, and like down south, like at the deepest point of the lake, there's a big ditch that runs main lake. I was just sitting out in the middle of it with spot lock, getting pelted. Like, I don't even care. Just take me. So it was so fun, man. And then we were so hyped about catching fish that like, you know, we weighed down, we came in 3rd out of the women, and Sherry had to get back to Alabama the next day. Like, both of us were exhausted because like I came straight out of work. Like, I didn't go to sleep. I came home from working at 12, got in the Jeep a couple hours later, or not Jeep, got in Clayton's truck a couple hours later and drove like 9 hours there. We were both dead. So we didn't stay for the awards because we didn't think we got anything. So we both left, and then we were walking around ICAST the next day, and here comes Mr. Randy from All In Tackle. He was like, hey, where's Sherry? You guys have to get your awards. They said they're on the way with them now because neither one of y'all were there for the awards. We were like, what? We got awards? So he was like, yeah, y'all got 3rd. I was like, oh, yeah. So,
That's so cool. That's awesome. Let's see your medal.
Huh?
Let's see your medal. Do you have it on?
I do.
That's awesome.
Real
Nice
too.
job. Woohoo!
But yeah.
All In Tackle. He's here. He's in the show right now.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Randy or is it Patty? Because it could be either. But either way, man, like it was awesome of them to send us and to have faith in us to actually do well, you know.
That's awesome.
Oh man, there they are. But Mr. Randy came up and he was like, you know, you guys gotta get your award. And I was like, I was already exhausted even the next day at the ICAST thing because I had to work it too. I was just like tired. You know, you get like moody / emotional when you're tired. He told me I got an award. He's like, calm down, quit. He's like, contain yourself. I was like, I'm trying. I was already tired the morning of practice. I was so hyped the morning of practice. Like, I can launch a boat and back a trailer and all that stuff just fine. I got today. I'm good. But the morning of, he was gonna put me in the water. He was like, "Are you ready?" He's like, "Is your boat ready? Did you get everything done?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's go." He's like, "Unstrap." I was like, oh, 1 second.
We were the same way.
Go the entire time. He's like, you need to calm down. I was like, it's not happening.
Yeah.
But like she said, man, the fact that you're competing to be on the American team just gets you hyped. And for me, what got me hyped was, I mean, the American team thing was cool, but to compete in the same field as guys like Shaw Grigsby and Keith and all these guys who I've kept up with forever, and then to compete against them, and then to come in and get a top 20 out of those guys, that made my day, because I've been expecting to mildly get my teeth kicked in because I've never touched South Florida. He was like, Marlon, quit. Dog's eating something. Anyways, but
I tried to ignore finding out who else was in the tournament. I was just trying to stay focused on the women, but I may or may not have shed a tear or two when we went to take off, because I was so excited and pumped and just was like, this is awesome. So it was very emotional. It really was.
And it was for me at the tanks, like when we got back and we actually had fished away this tournament, this lake that we've never touched, and are competing against all these people that either have a guide with them or live in Florida or whatever the case may be. You know, here we are, we're, you know, these two ladies from Alabama who know how to catch coosa spots, and then you take us down there. It's like a whole different world. But when we were weighing in, and Keith Carson was at the same tank as I was, and to get to sit there and converse with him, competing in the same level as he is and everything, and I told him that too. I thought of his face. I was like, it's a freaking privilege to compete against you and to shake your hand and and it's like all that kind of stuff just had me like choking up a little bit afterwards. Like when I got in the truck and everything was said and done over with, it's like, man, this is what I want to do. Like this is all I want to do, you know. So that being said, next year we'll make it happen. Like I was already kind of motivated to fish the opens or whatever. Now, like, now I'm about to just go, just go. It's like you cannot beat that feeling. It was. I don't even know how to explain it, but yeah.
I'm excited to see some ladies that are really motivated to start, branching out and do different things, because I feel like, people have been, kind of hard on us ladies, for different decisions, and I'm not sure what the the I'm not sure why the rules for that tournament weren't, I guess, more readily available as far as the having a guide. Like that wasn't something that was made really public, and I was shocked whenever I heard that you were allowed to have a guide.
Well, the way it works is it's not so much a guide; it's listed as a media personnel. They can't clarify what the occupation of their media personnel is. Like I can say I have a cameraman all day long, but my cameraman might be really good at it. See what I'm saying? Like it's just it is what it is. And I honestly was pretty excited about the fact that they took away the third person of all the women who wanted to compete for the U.S. thing, because like I just said, like your third person might be real good at taking pictures, but they might be real good at getting you around that lake too. So it even playing.
Gotcha.
That being said,
so if you were, the female teams that were definitely competing for the cup, they weren't allowed to have a third. Okay,
No.
gotcha.
You could only have two people on your boat, both women competing. And the one thing too is it's a charity tournament, so there wasn't any money, there wasn't any a prize or anything. There was a payout. And I think the media / guide thing, I agree, wasn't very clear. Like we read all the rules and everything, so we wanted to make sure that we were allowed to pre-fish. And they were like, there really are no rules. Like you can do whatever you want.
I noticed that too, that you said that. Like I was looking to make sure nothing was off limits.
Yeah, that's
everything. They were just like, it's whatever. I was like,
I called, I sent an email, I got a response email saying you can do whatever, there's really no rules. But the media / guide, that kind of went together, and I wasn't thinking the guide from Lake Toho would be on your boat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's
I wasn't even down there, so I don't know. So when I'm watching the weigh-ins, I have no idea. I'm thinking, I've never fished a $10 tournament that didn't have rules, so I had no idea. And I did see pictures where there were 3 people, and, so then whenever I heard that there were, also media people on boats, I was shocked, but it's for charity. And I am glad that it wasn't allowed for the females that were, that were
really strict about that.
Yeah. That definitely, is better. We would have seen some ladies duking it out probably at that point.
And like I was saying, like it was cool to get third in the women's, but it was really cool to get 18th out of 57, considering that a lot of those guys, 54, whatever it was, a lot of those people did have guides, and we still, as a team, still whooped them. Like, and I know it's Florida. It all depends on just smacking a 5-pounder in the head, because they're kind of mixed in there with all the other ones. But like, still, it's just a good feeling to know that, like, hey, here we are winging it.
Yeah.
Still held our own pretty well. But what that also did is it like I already fished BFLs as a boater, and I love fishing BFLs, but it's only in my state. Like I fished the Bama division, but it just motivated me so much to get out and fish something where like you're going around different parts of the country and you're gaining all this experience like that. Just that one tournament, it builds confidence, and it gives you so much knowledge on that type. Like now I could be comfortable going Harris Shane, or now I could be, more comfortable going to somewhere like Okeechobee. I know it's not the same, but you get a feel for it, such as going to Texas and fishing Fork, and maybe fish Ray Roberts a little better. Like
Fish the Ohio River Division or the Ohio Division. Beth and Lori, they love it.
Oh no, we don't do. Luckily,
Can't get enough of it.
No, luckily we don't do any BFLs or anything. All of our tournaments that we do are always as a team, and we compete against the guys here. So our circuits are all team oriented. We don't do anything with the boat or a co-angler. We're going to try to do that this year. We're going to do a Bass Open in Alabama. We're going to do Lewis Smith Lake.
y'all are signed up for this?
Yeah.
Signed up for this one?
Yeah, well, we were in March,
Yeah.
but then it got
canceled.
Yeah,
So
so y'all
October.
confirmed for the one in October though?
No, because she has to work. I just retired, so I could do it as a
Yeah,
co-angler.
if you need a partner.
Yeah, but I retired. So no, we're not doing it. We went to
I got you. Man, like that's all I want to do now is fish the opens. Like that is my goal is to fish the whole. If it was up to me, I'd fish all 9 next year. That's all I want to do is go fish the opens. Like it gets me fired up because you do away with a lot of the cherry pickers, like the local guys who sign up for 1 and 2 here because they know this lake. Nope, I want to go fish all of this.
Yeah.
All over this country. I want to get all this experience. I want to fish right alongside the
What's
guys.
stopping you?
It gets expensive.
That right there, and I've got to get a boat upgrade. Other than that,
And you got to
So
get a
why
what?
get a boat?
huh?
You got and
You
you
have
so
to
you,
get a boat.
Hang on, my dog's barking at something. What?
You have to get a boat.
Well, right now, so the boat that I used for the tournament up at ICAST, that was the Blazer, Clayton's Blazer. It's a 625. That boat is great, but my boat is a little 18-foot Express, which is like much less fancy and much, not nearly as fast.
What's his name?
But I love my little boat. It just doesn't. It won't keep up in the open. I'm sure I can still do okay, but it's not going to do well offshore. If one of these big, like if I go up north, put me on Champlain in an 18-foot 10 rig.
Oh, our first boat was a 16.5 aluminum low fishing machine. We took it out on Kentucky Lake
And cross.
and crossed over to the land between lakes because we
See, they
didn't
go.
That's true.
And I love my boat, like I said, but I stay in a lot of skinny water with it, and that's why I got it. I got it when I lived in the Panhandle, so I'm due for an upgrade. When I get the upgrade, I'll be set. And Clayton mentioned me fishing the opens as a co, but man, once you've been fishing as a boater for a while, you don't want to go back to a kayak. I enjoy fishing as a boater. I like to learn, compete along with the guys. I get super competitive, like extremely competitive, and I can't do that with the back of the boat. So. Anyway,
I feel you.
Oh, go ahead.
If
But-
I don't fish as a boater next year, I'm done. This is my 3rd year that I've attempted to do it. So if I can't make the jump next year,
Is
done.
that for the women's league, Barb?
Huh?
Is that for the LBAA?
Uh-huh.
That'll be fishing next year too. Like I'm probably gonna fish the opens, but I'm guaranteed gonna also fish the LBA. I think Sherry's got me about talked into it. So,
Really?
Fair warning.
You know what? I have to say, I think I say it every episode, one way or the other, but you will have so much fun. You will love that family. I mean, it is amazing. You have to do it.
I can't guarantee that I'll fish the whole circuit because the opens would come first, and how you have your first and then your secondary tournament. So that'll be my secondary. So
Yeah, but
but
once you fish one, though, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I want to go see my sisters. And then
I'll
you'll
be like, I
go
want to
the
make the
next one.
elites, and I'll be fishing the opens. I guarantee you.
Well, yeah, probably.
I want to be. I got to get out there. Like that's my goal, and I don't care if it takes me 40 years. There's never been a female make the elites ever. So
I'm hoping Trade Zaldane can do it. I'm pulling for her.
man, yes. There's a couple that fish it, but I'm too competitive to say I hope she gets it too. No, I want to get out there. She's so nice, and I love her, and I've met her in person several times, and I follow her. But let me get out there next year.
I'll root for you, Nikki Jo. Let's go.
And I would still shake her hand and wish her luck. Don't get me wrong, I'm not that kind of person. I'm just competitive, but that doesn't mean I don't need to do well. Like if she made it, I'd be super happy for her. Not saying I wouldn't, but I'm also gonna try my damnedest.
We're behind you. Have any of you guys fished Lake Whitney in Texas? We got a question. No.
Nope.
You're on
Nope.
your own, Megan. None of us have ever been there. So
Ray
gonna ha-
Roberts and Fort kind of found it.
you're going to have to figure out Lake Whitney and let us know.
Or something up north, like Lake Erie. Yeah.
Have y'all fished Minnetonka, by the way? Has anybody here fished Minnetonka?
I've ice fished it.
It does not count. No Eskimo fishing.
No.
No, man. That's if you ever want to go somewhere and just have like a fun lake visit and you need a confidence boost, go to Minnetonka. Like when it's not iced over, man. But like you can accidentally catch 2-pounders all day, just like brim fishing, 2-pounder, 2-pounder, 2-pounder. Then you catch like a 5. It's so.
It's like Lake Erie.
I want to go.
Lake Erie's like that. Lake Erie's got great smallmouth.
I feel like up north, it's like it's easier, but it's harder. Like it's easier to catch fish, but it's harder to win because everybody's catching 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be the one that catches the 25. Y'all need to come to Alabama River. Oh my God, I'd be happy to catch 3. Like it's hard.
No.
And
Neely Henry.
where it is where me, Beth, and Lori are from, if we catch a 2-pounder, we're like, are we in for the big fish? You know, like seriously, like people think we're kidding, but we're not. We're just like, man, like ounces, we're close to big fish.
Fishing
Yeah.
places like that, you so
A
much
3-pounder easily can be big fish on any given day, especially in the summer. In
Yep.
the summer, if you get a 3-pounder, yeah, it can be big.
Yeah, see, I used to live on the Panhandle or in the Panhandle. Me and Clayton decided we were going to move up here out of spur of the moment because I was tired of driving 6 hours to practice for a tournament. And if you look at the statistics, people that fish as a pro that are from Alabama that get top 10s, Alabama has so many different fisheries that are difficult in certain times of the year. And if you can perfect all the fisheries around you in this area, it just makes you so much better as an angler. Like I can, like say I perfected Guntersville, Neely Henry, Lake Martin, like all these places down here. And then I go somewhere like Mille Lacs or something. Like
I do not feel bad for you.
No.
I
don't
do
either.
do not feel bad for you. Like not
We had a
even that.
tournament.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, we had a tournament Sunday, and I think 9 pounds, was it 9 pounds? 924 won it on Sunday.
yeah,
Yeah,
You know
924.
what? If
And we had three fish for 4 pounds.
I'm gonna post the pictures of the weigh-in boards around me, and 4.2 pounds and 6 pounds are winning tournaments around me. I'm not even kidding. Nikki Jo's like, right.
Yeah, we
no,
understand.
I believe that. Like we're from a place where like you would have a little Tuesday or Thursday night tournament and like 7 to 9 pounds would win. I get that. I fully get that.
If I came in with that, I would win every tournament around here. If I could have 7 to 9 pounds every single time, I would win every tournament.
I think my sister and I fished Tuesday night a couple weeks ago, and she has only 3 times been fishing, and that's on Tuesday nights. And we took 3rd place with what, 7 pounds? With 7 pounds.
Yep.
Yeah, 7 pounds.
But fishing like that makes you good, like because you have to figure it out. You have to figure it out.
That's how we felt like when we went to Florida. I was like, we fish Ohio. I'm like, we'll be great into Florida.
And we were in practice.
I mean, we did. We
had
caught
some
5,
luck.
but
we called.
we
So,
called.
For us, we did really well with our turn.
Yeah. But we were behind you, Nikki, at the tank, and I kept looking. I was like, man, she's got a good bag right there. I was waiting to see what you guys weighed in.
Man, you guys had almost like we had right there neck and neck, didn't we? Like y'all had some decent fish too. It was tough though. Like,
It was tough.
It was tough. It was hard, but it was fun. That's all that matters.
still sad that it didn't just monsoon the day of. Man, my offshore bite would have had me some weight, but then they were just like goodbye as soon as the sun came out.
The ladies that won it with the guy, they were all offshore.
Yeah,
They were on a shell bed.
But
They
yeah,
just-
if I had found shell beds, maybe
I know.
But the offshore stuff I was fishing was like submerged grass. It was
Yeah. We found one shell bed, but then everybody was on it. And so I didn't know the rule, like how close you can go or whatever. And that was in practice. And then during the tournament, same situation. And we're like, we're not going to fish in other people's water.
Yep. Now the only time I fish like right on top with somebody is like here we have like a lot of current, so you can fish the dam and whatnot. So dam rules are a whole different set of rules. Like if I'm not touching your boat, you're not touching my boat, along with the other 40 boats that are up here during tournament. We're good.
Wow.
But it's because it's such a small area and so many people want to fish that particular area. It's like it's just how it is. Nobody gets mad. It's just just don't get literally in the boat with somebody else and you're good.
Well, Pam, I don't want to forget about you. You should have just started jumping in a long time ago. You know how it is with the girls. You should know by now. Just jump right in. But tell us about you going down, because yours was a very last minute kind of decision to go. And
Yeah, I'm glad y'all got it all figured out, 'cause I still don't have a clue.
re-
Bite on practice day, and that was it. I did not have a bite the rest of the day. I did not have a bite on tournament day. I don't know what the deal was. So,
Oh,
but,
really?
I got an invite through one of my sponsors with Buck and Bass. And said, I have a girl on our pro staff, the sponsor for the ICAST tournament in Orlando, Florida. Would you be interested? And I was like, sure, yeah. He's like, okay, well, I'll give her your number and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, great. I hung up the phone. I was like, what just happened now? I'm confused. And then I was like, why did I tell him that? The whole time I'm waiting for her to call me, I'm like, how am I going to tell her that I can't do this? Because I'm like, it's a 17 and a half hour drive down there, or a 2 hour, 5 minute flight down there. And I'd have to get my rods down there. I'd have to stay in a room down there. And I'm figuring all this up in my head, and I'm like, there is no way. And probably a couple of days later, she reached out to me, and the Lord just blessed me through people. I got my flight paid down there, going to and from round-way, two-way ticket. My hotel room got paid for by several people that give me money, and pretty much just I'm not gonna say I broke even, but I put in a little extra, but I still have no clue. And great, I got down there on Sunday evening, and she'd been out on the lake all day, and she had come up with 3 different spots to fish, and we got a little game plan together, and we went out Monday morning. It didn't happen for me. I got one bite, like I said. We found one little area with some water running in. There were fish there. Couldn't get a bite on anything I threw at them. And this morning was weird because usually I get so nervous. My stomach is in knots. I'm shaking. I'm just, my head's all 90 different directions. I got up that morning. I was calm. Had no issues whatsoever. And I mean, I knew the velocity of what this tournament stood for. Michelle Job, I've been following her for several years. I know that she was on Team USA in 2018, so I knew what the impact was, and her being there was pretty monumental to me. Nikki Jo, I've been following her for a while through my brother and through Express. There, that just meant the world to me. And Pam Markwell snuck in. I actually saw pictures of her like 2 or 3 days before the tournament, and it said Florida, and I was going to sneak in on this tournament. And sure enough, the morning of the tournament, here she comes walking around. So I didn't feel like I was by myself or fishing with a big group of people that I didn't know, because there were enough familiar faces around me that I just felt comfortable. And as far as the lake went, I was perfectly fine with the lake. I'm from Louisiana. I fish the grass. I fish lily pads, fish all of that. And I don't know what it was. But I got on them coming. I'm going back. Somehow, some way, I'm going back.
We saw Pam was there. She was there as long as we were there because we saw her out on the water, her and her husband and whoever she fished with. They paired up, and then her husband went out with her husband or whatever, the other husband or whatever. So we saw them on the water too. And if you're in the LBAA, you're like, oh man, Pam is a top stick. We're like, oh, geez.
I
You know, yeah.
I was like, hey, you can't come in here, Pam.
Like, that's a ringer.
So she actually fished.
Like, dang it.
Pam fished. They had a tough time though. They struggled.
I don't know who she was with though.
That was
but-
Yeah.
her, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. She used to be an LW pro years ago.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yup.
Yeah. So, and then Angela Mayo from the LBAA fished as well.
yeah.
So I don't know who she fished with either. But Pam, where are you from?
Bella Vista, Arkansas, but I grew up in Louisiana.
Okay. Awesome. I wasn't sure.
I've never felt so disappointed in myself, but yet excitement over Nikki Jo and Sherry and Pam are her name's Michelle Jalapa doing so well. I mean, it totally just made disappointment disappear. I was so proud, and Nikki, like, that is so awesome to go down there and pull that off like that.
And you're brave for showing up, because I had second thoughts. Like, after I signed, or after Mr. Randy and Miss Patty were like, yeah, we'll send you. And I was like, yeah, let's go. I did the same thing you said. I was like, dang, what am I doing? Like, I got to haul the boat down there where I'm going. I don't know anything about this place, but it was just like and I told Sherry, I don't know if y'all know or not, Sherry just opened a restaurant. Like the week, you know, us down there, she opened a restaurant. So I called her, they asked me to fish it. And I was like, there's nobody else I want to fish it besides you. I want you to go with me, you to be my partner. She was like, I just opened a restaurant. I don't know. Give me some time to think. And then, like, she said to give her like a week. She was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I was like, okay, well, what's wrong with us? So we're gonna do it anyways. So
Told me that. I actually, when I got the call from Will, and I talked to Anastasia, and we'd already made the post about Sherry from the LBAA being in the tournament and stuff. And I sent Sherry a message, and I said, would you call me when you get an opportunity? And she called me, and she said, what's up? And I was like, I know it's not a big deal, and I know you're going to think I'm crazy for doing this. I said, but it's a respect thing to me. I said, I'm going to be making a post, but I wanted to talk to you first about it. I said, I'm going to enter the ICAST Cup. And she's like, oh, that's so freaking awesome. I'm so glad. I'm like, but I wanted to talk to you first. And she's like, well, what did Shannon say? Talk to Shannon? I said, I've not told anybody. I said, I just didn't want to just bring it up all over Facebook like that without saying something to you about it. And she's like, girl, I'm so happy for you. So it was just a passing conversation to her, but I had to talk to her before I said anything to anybody. But she was like, oh, Nikki's got me in there. And she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm opening the restaurant and I'm probably worried about that. But I'm going. I know I'm going. So it was hilarious talking to her.
yeah, she was hyped. And like practice, like I said, she only got practice for like an hour because she didn't get down there until kind of late. So the hour that we did go out, I don't know if y'all keep up with TikTok or not, but I posted a video on TikTok of us practicing that, trying to outrun that storm. So we didn't catch anything whenever she was on the boat. So she thought, and she probably thought heavily about, like, we did not have a bite the entire time she practiced. I had been before that. We had some, but like during her time period, all we did was go catch a bunch of nothing and outrun the storm, and that was it. And she was like, "Tomorrow's gonna be tough." I was like, "We'll be okay." She's like, "We have a plan." I was like, "Not really. We'll be fine." So
those are the best plans.
I forgot to turn my GoPro on the entire time. Little things that failed throughout the day, like good luck failures, you know. So
At least you didn't have to go to the ER. I'm just saying. I think that trumps it. That trumps not turning on that GoPro. getting that nerve block and being like, wow, this is so cool.
You should have found Nikki, then you wouldn't have had to go to the ER.
Say what?
Called me. I would have fixed you up. It's a little bit-
I wanted to tell the ER, I was like, can you just YouTube how to take a hook out so he didn't have to cut? And he just numbed it. But there was no way to push the, to get the leverage, to pull it out.
Could you have pushed the way through and then cut the bar off?
He should have done that, but it was so deep the second time that I don't think he could have, because he didn't know if it was in the like tendon or anything, but it's all good. And then I had to take antibiotics because like I didn't want to take them. And then the day after the tournament, it was swollen, it was red, it was hot, and it was puffy. Like,
Did you get that in a shot too?
no, I had that in 2013, so I was good. And then he comes in there with this big, like, a surgical sterile area, like this big drape to put over me and all this stuff. And he looks at me and he goes, "Do you have anxiety?" And I was like, "Only if somebody's coming at me with knives and needles, yes, I have anxiety." But it was all good.
She called me from the ER and she was like, "I can't feel a thing. I'm just looking for pliers right now." And I was like, "Oh, good Lord." I was like, "You need to sit down."
I was like, if I could have found a hemostat, I would have just yanked it right on out with the hemostat because I couldn't feel anything. So I was checking out the drawers and I couldn't find a hemostat. Thing to get it. So, anyhow. But ICAST itself too was fun, and I know we haven't talked at all about ICAST, but that was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. It was a good time.
So, what was everybody's favorite, like, new release that's coming out? What did you see that is going to be a no-brainer? You're definitely going to buy it.
The Shimano Corrados.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, I would have to say some of the stuff that Pure Fishing came out with. I mean, there was just some really cool cutting edge stuff. The Mike Iaconelli, the Gilly, which is looks like a bluegill, and it's like a plastic thing. I thought that was really innovative. And Daiwa has got some new reels that are coming out, which are really nice, sharp looking reels.
And Busby, it's a company for like tackle boxes and stuff, but you can do different storage in it. Like you can customize it yourself. It floats. It keeps water out of it. And then they come out with these new packages that you can plastic because everybody loves plastic worms. So you can organize those. They've got some great ideas coming out for them.
Yeah, we met those guys in Cleveland when we were up there doing a show, and we ran into them, and they were like, "We were just talking about you guys," and then they showed us this cutting edge. We got a couple of those tackle management boxes. We love them, and we use them specifically for the tournament for that day. So we put in our top baits, so it's real easy to go through. The other one we love is the Yugo. I don't know if you guys can see that near the Yugo. So it's vitamin C. It's pretty cool. It's a great play on words, but these ladies are from Minnesota, and they created, like, you know how your iPhone has like an auto box, or you put it in something that's waterproof. Well, those things sink, and we can't wait to use it. We haven't obviously been able to get out yet, but it has the zipper let me get this way. The zipper is what's used on swimsuits, dive suits. So it's high quality, and then you open it up and you can stick your phone inside of it. So because y'all like the video and stuff, so you can put your phone in it and ignore that picture, but you can touch it and do stuff right through this. So explain to them why you'd use it for work.
So, the big thing that happened is I fell in the water.
Oh yeah.
Trying to get onto the dock to go get the truck. And I had my keys, I had my phone in my life jacket, but I was getting off the boat, we just misjudged the dock. So I went in the water. No one knew I went in the water. I could have drowned or got hit by a boat. But anyway, my phone got wet, and I was like, man, I am tired of getting You won't know. Your phone getting wet and trying to get a new phone. Well, the cool thing about this case is that you can have your phone in there. You can use it, but A, it's going to stay dry. B, it floats. And C, you could take video.
Yeah.
So you could just hold it up there and you don't have to worry about any of your stuff getting wet. Then you can wear a strap on the back and wear it
So
like
it
you
comes
would
with
a
a
GoPro.
strap. Yeah.
So it's just,
You wear it different ways.
it's hard to process all the new products at ICAST, but you just gravitate towards ones that you're like, I'm going to use that, or that's brilliant. Why didn't I think of that? So,
Did y'all see those? God, what was it? The ocean waves glasses? They were like in a quarter. They're like 100% scratch proof. Like the dude, it's like smacked with keys on the lens.
No, I would have loved to have seen that. We didn't see that.
Like, you know, normally if they're scratch proof, like some kind of cheapy plastic or something, like these were legit. Because I was like, oh, those are kind of cool. They look like air frames or whatever, like I like. And they're good for bed fishing, the way the lenses, like the color and everything were. And I was like, oh, it's like super good for bed fishing. And then the guy, we see those, like, I guess it was the owner or marketing guy or whatever. Anyways, he took them out of my hands. He's like, look, they're scratch proof. Whack, whack. He like smacked the keys. I was like, oh my God. Don't make it. Like, they didn't scratch at all, so.
Do they have the prices of what those are, like everything at ICAST, what those are, everything's going to retail at?
So they don't display the price on anything. I will say there were some things at the Daiwa that their reels were priced, but the new stuff that came out, you kind of had to ask and inquire. And then there was always the manufacturer, the MSRP. This is what that is. And then they were like, but the show price is this. So certain booths you could buy things, and other booths you couldn't.
Yeah, not all.
How much were the sunglasses?
I think the pair I picked up, they were like the same price as like Costa or Oakley. I think they're like $200, $250.
I will say there is another thing that I saw that I think is really important, because we're all about safety and being on the water and life jackets and stuff like that. And one day we were walking by and there's this trough full of water and there's like this mannequin floating in it. And I'm like, did you see that? I was like, oh my God, wait, what is that? And it's FX, I think it's called FXR. And it is a suit that is 100% buoyant. So if you think about it and you're fishing in a tournament, if you're going as a co-angler, even if you're going as a boater and you get thrown out of that boat, we did a life jacket video on safety, different life jackets. But if you get thrown out and that suit, it weighs you down and pulls you down. This is buoyant. It's 100% waterproof. So like, even if you're fishing in the cold, you're still protected from that. And that was really cool. FXR suit. It's not cheap. And that's what I was saying is like, well, I wouldn't pay that much money or whatever, but it's your life that you're also saving, so is your life, it's like a motorcycle helmet. If you're trying to protect your brain and your head, you're going to pay good money for a motorcycle helmet. It was a really neat thing. Yeah.
I was like, I want to put that on and jump in. Just to test it. It's super cool though.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with my heart. We got Ed coming out with a new spinning rod, and Big Bite Baits coming with some new stuff. Looks pretty awesome. So.
That's cool. We don't have Big Bite Baits up north, so we talked to them about getting Big Bite Baits up here. So you can order it online and stuff like that, but sometimes you like to be able to go into the store and see it, and find out what's going to work. And so we talked to them about getting it up here, because we need some Big Bite Baits up here.
Yeah.
Yep, those are made down here where I'm at.
Oh yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to hop off here and go get ready for work.
All right.
And everybody.
Thank you for coming on, Nikki Jo. I certainly appreciate it. I know you're exhausted.
It was fun hanging out. Have a good day at work.
Okay, so I'm not too exhausted.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats.
Have a good night.
Hey, you
Good
guys.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye. What was your favorite, Angie?
So I didn't have a whole lot of time to think about going around looking at the new products. I go into the new product area a little bit and got immediately overwhelmed because there was so much in there. that I was like, okay, I don't have time for this. I've got podcast interviews and things like that. So I kind of turned around and walked out. Um, we did go to the Pure Fishing showcase that night to see some of their stuff. There's some new like Abu Garcia rod reel combos that are a little more affordable for people. Just didn't really have a whole lot of time to really dig into the new product stuff this year. But it was great just being able to get all those podcast interviews done. I did
Right.
a great interview with the creator of the Bass Forecast app. So I'm excited about that one coming out. And of course, all the ladies with the women making waves, as many of them as I could, got to sit down and chat with those ladies. And we'll hopefully be doing more in Miami in January with that. So um, that was really a lot of fun to be a part of that group this year.
Hmm. Well, I know that that you were with the you said the Disney, what was it, the Disney chain that you did the fishing on, that was part of the takemefishing.org's women making waves group, that from what I was reading on there, it was for the, like, their get together was mainly for the, the connecting and the networking, which I think was amazing for them to do. Like, I'm really excited to eventually meet some of them as well. Because was it last year that they started doing the women making waves, or was it the year before? Because that hashtag is growing and growing and growing. Like, there is more of us coming on board. And I know Nikki has a huge TikTok following and stuff, but there's more ladies coming on TikTok and transferring over and stuff.
Well,
It's a new.
so I think it was the year before last when Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation officially launched the big Women Making Waves campaign.
Mhm.
And I was a part of that at ICAST 2 years ago, just kind of covering everything in the meetup. Actually, they might have
Gotcha.
started it 3 years ago now that I think about it. But one of the statistics in their new press kit that I got a copy of this past week was for the first time, female fishing participants increased by 500,000 in 2020, reaching an all-time record of 1.8 million. So
Nice.
definitely a lot more ladies getting involved in fishing.
I look for the
And that's what we want. And we want them to sustain it, because that's one of the issues. And I think you and I have talked about it, Angie, is that we're the fastest growing demographic. So it's like it's going up, but then they're not staying in it. So, we need to continue the growing, but also sustaining them in it, and finding, you know, that that medium.
Yeah.
And
And I went
you
to
know,
the State of the Industry breakfast. I think it was Wednesday morning, and the keynote speaker, that was what his whole topic was about. He's not necessarily in the fishing industry. He travels around and speaks to different groups, but there's a lot of different industries that are experiencing the same thing we are in fishing. I forget the other examples. One of them was slippers. Apparently, a lot of people bought slippers during the pandemic. There were just some random ones. It was kind of funny. But anyway, his point was just
we're
talking
so
to
close
the
to keeping up with them.
manufacturers and the retailers about how do we keep all these brand new anglers. And basically his main point was we just need to keep it awesome and fun. The two
And
things you
it's
need
not
to do.
just not the ladies. It's also, all the kids, everybody who's throwing a line, who's never thrown a line before. Because of COVID, that was the only thing you could do that was safe, was to get out on the water and socially distance and things like that. So it is. I think that's a challenge for all of us. The one thing I wish more than anything, in order to keep the women into it, is I wish that someone out there would back a women's team tournament. So I just, I think more women would jump into the tournament field if they knew that they could partner with someone they know and they would feel safer learning the ropes with that person than going as a co-angler. I think that's part of the frustration. Sometimes people don't want to go straight to a co-angler because they don't know their boat, or they want to go from a co-angler to a boater because they don't have the confidence or the strength as a boater. But most people can team fish, and I just think they would open a team circuit. But
I think that would be amazing. I 100% agree with you guys. I think that that would be great for the sport, for growing. If there was any way to just even test like the proof, of concept, but how do you do that?
yeah,
We're all
Well, I
spread
think that-
out.
Yeah, the ICAST Cup definitely sprinkled
surface.
that idea, because we know how many women were there. Many of us were trying to compete for USA fishing team. So, I mean, it's out there. If we could just keep spreading that word, maybe we can get something rolling.
Yeah, and I think there was 12 women's teams, like 12 or 13 women's teams competing for that Team USA. But I think too that had it gotten out sooner, the advertising gotten out sooner, I think that more people would have been like, you know what, I'm going to go and do this. And then because of this opportunity, this platform, and this social media thing that you guys are doing right now, people who may see this might be like, you know what, I want to do this for next year. So like you can budget and budget for it, because that's one thing we didn't budget for it, and it broke the bank. So if there's more advertising to that this is a
Right.
women's, and the other thing too, I think with the women's tournament, if that were ever to come about, they need to keep the entry fees lower, and great payout. It's hard sometimes when there's like you put in all the travel, but the payout doesn't even cover your travel expenses.
Right.
So you have to find that sweet spot of what can I offer, what people can bring on, and great prizes that everybody walks away with a brand new rod, or everybody walks away with something, maybe not money or cash in the pocket, but everybody gets a new rod or reel for the tournament, just for participating. That's kind of how we first got into it.
We always brought something home,
Yeah, we did. And there was hot dogs.
not fish.
No, but there was hot dogs. They always had hot dogs for us after the tournament.
Well, donuts in the morning and then hot dogs.
That's true. I forgot about the donuts. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like it, to try to go into like a new tournament, a new women's tournament trail that was team based, you would almost have to already have sponsors, on board, knowing that there was going to be that purse money available,
Oh yeah.
in case that, you have 5 teams that show up, and, if we're fishing in Ohio and 3 of the teams are from Texas or something like that, and then it's like, oh, you won and you get $100, like congratulations. Like you kind of, it would probably benefit to have some companies that were excited about having, something new like that, because I really think that that could be huge. We got to figure out how to figure that out. I
I'll
mean,
have that on my to-do list of things to
yeah,
do.
like figure
Things
out
to
the
do
plan to
anytime.
figure it out.
That was the thing.
Because it could be huge.
Cam, turn your volume up. What'd you say?
I said that was the thing with me staying in Orlando, is I ended up staying by myself. I was just right across the freeway from the convention center, but yet I still had to take an Uber over there. And I mean, I felt like I was isolated. So, I mean, just having a place where everybody could stay, I think that would be, a big helpful.
Hmm.
I wish I had had your number, because we text Angie a lot and met up a lot during ICAST, but yeah, it's just you didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's never like that at the LBAA. We're usually all at the same hotel or the same camping spots, or, whatever the situation is. I don't think anybody's ever, well, sometimes like people will rent a house together or something like that. But, This was definitely something that was new. I am so not missing it next year, I swear. I was watching it. I was watching everybody's posts and I'm like, oh, I don't want to get on social media. So that was, I'm just going to forget this year, was ever. COVID year was better.
Once you get on that water for that tournament, we almost tripped over each other because we were so excited and nervous and just full of excitement about the tournament. It's an amazing feeling. I hope you
the night before, we're getting all ready because you guys know you get up at 3 a.m, whatever, least amount of stuff to do in the morning. And so Beth is standing over, it's like she's at the one end of the room, and she's looking over at me, and I hear her kind of like chuckle, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, what are you laughing at? And
I was. Well, first Lori got 2 new pairs of shoes that were like USA colors.
One was USA, the other one was
just in case.
comfortable. I did.
Which I totally was like, that's a great idea.
And my nephew owns a running store, and so I got the last pair of Brooks red, white, and blue Team USA shoes I could.
I look over, and there's one pair of shoes like on top of like a pile of clothes, just making sure that those are there. And I was like, what else is happening over there?
I did, and it was like when I played high school basketball and I got my first varsity uniform the night before the game, and it's like I laid it out and I was so excited. And then when I played in college, I did the same thing. I was like you work so hard for this and you lay it out. And I remember when Kobe Bryant got his USA jersey when he was going to play in the Olympics, he talked about, he just laid it out over the bed. And so that's what I was like, this is so cool that we get to do this. And it was like, I want to make sure I've got everything, my shorts match. And I had not worn these shorts before, so they were not subject to bad karma. They were brand new. I take the tags off. I was a little superstitious.
I had cursed by the Ohio River.
No, I had I had a new undershirt that was really lightweight because I knew how hot it was going to be. I had my buff. I had everything. And she's laughing at me, and I'm like,
I had new underwear.
Yeah.
Because there's so much work that goes into like, what am I going to wear? That we were putting everything we had in it. Everything.
The day before, it was literally 5 hours of tackle. The day before, it was sorting through, changing rods and reels to what I knew worked. And then the only pattern that we knew that worked was on every single one of my rods except for my 2 top water rods. It was just different weights. That was it. So it was, but you just, it means that much to you, And
Pam, I was with you. I had 2 short fish. Lori caught all the other ones. And I mean, because you want it so bad, I was like, oh, I think that's a bite. No, it was hydrilla. Oh, I think that's a bite. No, it was hydrilla. Like you were like, oh, it's like Santa is coming right now down the chimney that I couldn't get him.
And literally, like the first fish I had was literally at like 6:45. Yeah. Like it was like we pulled up on the spot. It was like the 3rd or 4th cast, and then you had a short one, and then I kept catching them, and then I was like, dear Lord Jesus, please let a fish that keeps fall on Beth's hook. Let her catch it, keep her
fall on it. Let them fall on it.
Yeah.
Not eat the bait or anything. Just fall on the hook.
That's what I wanted it to do.
Hey, but I netted all the fish. And you want to talk about not touching fish about 4 years ago. I took every fish on his hook. I was like, get it out here. And I would have netted 15 more for her. So.
Yeah. And we went to new water even looking for big fish.
What was that, Pam?
For the tournament, but I kid you not, Angie got a bite, maybe her 2nd, 3rd cast on a frog. It blew up on the frog. It actually went one way and the frog went the other. But after that, my hands were so shaking. I mean, it was like I was on the caffeine high. I couldn't barely breathe my reel because I was like, it could happen right now.
Yes. That's the same thing. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was fun.
And that night was so slow for us. That was like, oh, stop it, Beth, stop it. I couldn't.
And that's, I mean, I had some reels that were 8 to 1, and I just take them off and put on my really slow reels because I knew once I got adrenaline going, I was going to be cranking even faster, you know. And it was funny because Charlie Evans from Paw Patrol, he was like, Lori, just slow down. And I'm like, you can't when adrenaline's going.
Oh,
You just can't. So it's easier for me to switch my reel out than it was to Charlie Evans. He fishes the, it used to be the FLW, but he is the guy with Paw Patrol and Possibilities.
Anything possible.
Anything Possible products. Great guy. We met him, a couple years ago, and he actually brought the Paw Patrol to our Cabela store up here in Columbus. So great guy. They had more kids there for him to be there than they did for Santa Claus when Santa Claus came here. That was all pre-COVID. That was all.
Yeah. Well, and I remember, I think it was actually the last LBAA tournament. I had sent a text to Angie, and I was just like, don't get nervous. Just remember that more casts doesn't always mean more fish. If you feel like you're, starting to get in your head and fishing too fast, just recognize that in your head, because then it'll remind you like, oh, okay, I'm getting in my head. I need to slow back down. Because we all do, like when it starts getting to be like, oh gosh, I don't have my limit. It's getting to be, the tournament's almost over. We all just naturally, we're thinking 3 casts ahead when we're on that cast, we're looking for that next one. And I can totally see how you would be doing that at cast 1 in that tournament.
Yeah, and the tournament was only 4 hours.
So,
wow.
You want to talk about
pressure on, these fish better be fired up. Come on, guys.
And the other thing too is people are like, you can run down to the south end of the lake, and you're guaranteed bigger fish or bigger bite, but that's a 10-minute run, maybe 15-minute run. That's 10 to 15 minutes added twice that you're not getting to fish. And we stayed local.
Yeah, every possibility that we had, it was like we just wanted to execute every minute, because every minute counted in a 4-hour tournament.
Yeah.
And even for the women that had, their media / guide,
25.
I mean, they bring in 25 pounds in 4 hours.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a mother load.
you are cranking on some fish.
Yeah.
So kudos to them,
Yeah.
honest. Kudos.
Yeah, that's good. I just think of the waters that I normally fish, and I'm like 25 pounds in 4 hours. Like I could be out there for like 2 weeks straight and be like, okay, Dad, we got 6.5 pounds. Like,
That is.
Yeah, we've never seen a 25. But we've been on Erie before and had a 16-pound bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16, almost 17-pound bag. But 25-pound bag in 4 hours, there's no way.
Yeah.
No way. So
if I would have been them girls and I brought in that bag, I would have not even probably made it on stage. I would have been shaken.
they struggled. There were some struggles, especially when they won. And then anytime you saw them at ICAST, they always had a trophy with them.
It was awesome.
It went to.
I would too.
I'd have strapped it to my head. I'd have been like, that's my new hat. I'd have just been walking around. I wouldn't have carried it. Just let my neck hold it up.
I would have been at Kroger's, at the grocery store. Just
That's a good one.
Like in the shower, sit it on the toilet, in the shower, pick it up.
Yep, I'd still be walking around with it.
It was cool though. And Angie, I gotta give you props, man. That thing that you did for the women, setting that up at Uncle Julio's, that was a lot of fun. So
we met a lot of people. Women that night.
A lot of credit to BB Harrison. She put a lot of legwork in getting that set up, and Debbie Hansen helped as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun dinner, and even more fun train ride after the dinner.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
$4
for
$4 for kids.
I know. Where do you ever, as an adult, have to pay less than a kid?
Yeah,
it was awesome.
We jumped all over that.
That's on our page.
Yeah.
It got a lot of views. So,
We had an opportunity to ride the big Ferris wheel in Orlando, and it was out of our budget.
Yeah.
So we decided for the small kids train, and we all three fit in a very
coal car. It was tight.
and we didn't get stuck.
And the train didn't lose power.
Yep.
It made it the whole way around without losing power.
And your Christmas cards are coming with our pictures on.
Yeah.
Did you say that the Ferris wheel was out of your budget?
Yeah, it was $40, taxes and everything. It was like $37 than what you had taxes
For a
one
Ferris wheel?
for one time around.
I mean, granted,
One
it's
time.
really big, but
It's just one time around. It's like at Cedar Point riding the giant dime. So it was a giant Ferris wheel, but it was $40.
Florida sure does think a lot of their Ferris wheels.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we thought, how many plastic worms can we get with $40? And I said,
Well, right.
That pays for a Tuesday night tournament for us. So we're like
One of my favorite reels. I have, some really nice reels, and right now one of my favorite reels is $50. So I'll just get me another reel.
yep.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
it was fun though. We had a great time. And the train didn't lose power, so I was happy.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Well, ladies, I am so glad that you guys had a good time. It looked amazing. It sounds like it was a great experience for everybody, and that's what it's all about. And everybody's continuing to network, and we're gonna have some new people with the LBAA soon, because I'm targeting some of them, Megan. And we're gonna keep growing things, and get some people started, and it's been a lot of fun doing it.
it's been a lot of fun all the way around. We get to meet more ladies that are enthusiastic about fishing. It's awesome.
That was one of the highlights, at least for me, is all the women that were in the ICAST Cup competing, but all the other women that we met during ICAST.
Oh, yeah.
And being able to make new friends, and then we're all passionate about one thing. So
Right.
Fantastic.
And for us too, to get to meet some of the people that we've emailed, like Angie introduced me to Deb Hansen back about 4 or 5 months ago, 6 months ago, when I went for a life jacket, and then finally meet her. And then we actually have a common friend, one of our former students, best golf.
Yeah, one of my former golf players.
Yeah, so it's like the world is pretty small, and then we meet other people that we've emailed before. We're like, oh my god, that's great.
They're real, like they're
Yes.
real
Pretty cool.
We are like our own kind of community, and it is very refreshing to be around other women that are as crazy about it as you. You don't feel as strange. Yes, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
these are our people. But it's awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for having us too.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Pam, good to see you.
Absolutely.
Good to see everybody. And I know you guys are going to be meeting up in September for the LBAA. All of you guys, actually.
We won't.
Oh, you guys aren't going to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be there in spirit.
Yeah.
Me too.
Beth has to go back to work.
Yeah. Well, we shall meet up again soon. And we'll go ahead and call it a night for tonight. Thank you so much, you guys, for, taking the time out, and you guys rest up.
For sure.
So,
Thank you guys.
do you
Thank
have
you.
anything else, Angie?
Nope, just got my first episode about ICAST coming out tomorrow morning on the Woman Angler and Adventure podcast. It's going to be about our little kayak fishing trip Tuesday morning, and also to introduce the audience to Gabriella McGrath, because I haven't had her on the show yet. So look forward to that.
She is
Nice.
cool. She's a cool girl. Good people.
And just to end the night, we want to give a huge shout out to Michaela and to Cricket. who are high school girls who are fishing their championships. Pam, is it Michaela? Is it her? It's the national championship, right? For high school. So they are both competing this week as high school anglers, and we want to wish them the best of luck. We are pulling for you. They're competing, boys, girls. It's not just a girls thing. You know, they're fishing for college scholarships at this
That's
point.
awesome.
They
That's
didn't
awesome.
have that stuff when we were college kids, you know, so they're fishing for a lot of stuff. So we're thinking about you girls. Good luck. Go and kill it. And we'll be watching to see how you guys do. So, all right, we're calling it a night. Everybody have a good night, and we will see everybody soon.
Bye, guys.
Have a
Good
good
night.
night.